At 52 degrees below zero, most people would not survive more than 30 minutes outside. Yet here, families live their entire lives on frozen mountains with barely any shelter at all. They follow animals across landscapes where temperatures drop so dangerously low that exposed skin freezes solid instantly. These are the Sami people, and their way of living seems impossible to modernize today, but they have mastered survival techniques that government scientists still cannot fully understand or replicate successfully. What we discovered during our expedition completely challenged everything we thought we knew about human adaptation forever. We arrived in northern Siberia during the coldest month when darkness covers the land almost completely daily. The landscape stretched endlessly before us, a sea of white interrupted only by scattered, wind-swept evergreen trees. Small nomadic camps appeared unexpectedly across the frozen terrain, made of traditional structures called lavu or goti structures. These cone-shaped tents have housed reindeer herders for centuries, designed specifically to withstand the most brutal Arctic weather everywhere. Inside these structures, families gather around fires that provide warmth and light during the endless polar night season. The smoke rises slowly through openings at the top, creating an atmosphere that feels ancient and deeply spiritual. We were welcomed immediately by Joni and his family, who had herded reindeer for over 40 years continuously. His weathered face told stories of decades spent battling nature in one of Earth's most unforgiving environments everywhere. Yet his eyes sparkled with warmth and kindness, revealing a spirit that cold could never actually freeze solid. Northern Siberia covers an area larger than the entire United States, yet fewer than 50,000 people inhabit it. The terrain consists of endless tundra, mountains, frozen rivers, and forests that seem to go on forever. During summer, the region experiences the midnight sun, where daylight never stops, creating a completely different survival challenge. In winter, darkness stretches for months on end, and temperatures regularly plummet far below what humans can endure. The reindeer herders navigate this landscape using knowledge passed down through countless generations of their ancestors before them. They read the land like books, understanding subtle signs that indicate where food is available or dangers exist nearby. Snow formations tell them whether ice is thick enough to cross safely with their herds today. Wind patterns reveal information about approaching storms, migration patterns of animals, and where shelter can be found quickly. The Arctic Ocean surrounds much of this region, creating weather systems that are unpredictable and extremely dangerous constantly. Yet the herders move through these conditions with a confidence that comes only from intimate environmental knowledge deeply.
The Sami people have inhabited these northern regions for thousands of years, predating most European nations completely always. Archaeological evidence suggests their ancestors hunted wild reindeer here more than 7,000 years ago in ancient times. Originally, they practiced hunting wild reindeer herds that migrated across the landscape in massive seasonal movements yearly consistently. The transition from hunting to herding happened gradually over centuries as the Sami domesticated wild reindeer animals slowly. This shift allowed them to settle in semi-permanent camps rather than following massive wild herds across entire continents entirely. By the medieval period, reindeer herding became the dominant lifestyle across northern Scandinavia and the Russian Arctic regions. The Sami developed specific cultural practices, languages, traditional clothing, and spiritual beliefs tied directly to reindeer herding entirely. But the most surprising part of this history was still ahead, revealing deeper connections we never expected initially. Colonization by Russians, Norwegians, and Swedes dramatically changed Sami society through land seizures, restrictions, and cultural suppression efforts. Many Sami were forced to abandon traditional herding practices or relocate to less desirable geographical locations completely forcefully. The Sami language sounds nothing like Scandinavian languages, revealing their unique cultural origins separate from neighboring peoples. Joni spoke Sami to his children, teaching them words for snow types, reindeer behaviors, and Arctic navigation skills. Each word in their language carries meaning developed through thousands of years of interaction with this harsh landscape deeply. For example, they have over 20 different words describing snow conditions that completely determine survival or failure daily. This linguistic richness reveals how thoroughly the Sami culture has adapted to every aspect of Arctic living completely. Traditional Sami clothing, called gakti, incorporates vivid colors and intricate designs that served practical purposes beyond mere decoration. The bright colors made family members visible across white, snowy landscapes, preventing accidental separation during dangerous travel conditions. The designs and embroidery patterns identified which family clan you belonged to and communicated your social status clearly. We watched Joni's daughter, Ilo, wear her traditional gakti while herding reindeer across frozen terrain with remarkable skill. She moved with an elegance that suggested she had been born on skis and sleds rather than in houses. Yet what happened next changed our understanding of how young people balance tradition with the modern world entirely, forever.
Morning arrives slowly here, with the sun barely creating a faint glow on the distant horizon line. Families wake before dawn to prepare for the day's herding tasks, which require constant attention and careful management. Joni's wife, Heidi, prepared a traditional breakfast of smoked reindeer meat and lingonberry bread, using centuries-old recipes faithfully. The smell of wood smoke and traditional cooking filled the air, creating an atmosphere that felt timeless and deeply nostalgic. Children helped prepare equipment, repair sleds, and check harnesses with a competence that most modern observers watching carefully amazed. They understood that survival depended on careful preparation, so laziness or carelessness could literally mean family death or danger. By midday, we ventured out with Joni to check on herds scattered across the frozen landscape beyond sight. The reindeer sensed his presence immediately, responding to calls and movements he had been perfecting for 40 years continuously. He explained how each animal had a unique personality, and he knew hundreds of them individually by sight and behavior. But almost nobody expects what comes next in terms of the connection between herder and reindeer in this region. The animals moved as one unified organism, following invisible patterns that Joni understood, but which defied logical modern explanation. We witnessed moments of genuine affection between man and animal, challenging modern assumptions about indigenous survival practices completely, always. Winter hunting represents the most critical period for the Sami, as stored food determines whether families survive or starve. Joni prepared his hunting equipment with ritualistic care, checking rifles, ammunition, and navigation tools with obsessive attention paid. Hunting permits in modern Siberia are limited by government regulations, creating tension between traditional practices and contemporary conservation laws. We followed him across a frozen mountain pass where wind speeds reached 60 miles per hour and visibility nearly zero. His navigation relied on internal compass sense, combined with landmarks that modern tourists would never notice or recognize themselves. After 6 hours of intense travel, he identified a herd of wild reindeer, moving with stealth and precision calculated. The hunt itself happened in moments, a decision made after careful assessment of wind, distance, terrain, and conditions. He explained afterward that this single animal would provide essential nutrition for his family throughout the brutal winter months. The respect he showed the animal, saying traditional words of gratitude, revealed spiritual dimensions often missing from modern existence. What happened next revealed the deep connection between hunter and hunted that transcends simple resource extraction for survival, always. Every part of the animal gets used, nothing wasted, exemplifying sustainability practices that modern environmentalists still struggle achieving completely. Inside the lavu, Joni's family prepared the freshly hunted reindeer using methods unchanged for centuries past, historically always. They worked efficiently, processing meat, preserving portions for storage, and utilizing bones, organs, and skin for various survival purposes. Traditional Sami cooking relies heavily on smoking, salting, and freezing, techniques developed long before modern refrigeration existed anywhere globally. Smoked reindeer meat acquired a distinctive flavor that is difficult to describe but unforgettable once tasted, sincerely deeply. We participated in the meal preparation, learning how traditional knowledge about food preservation kept families alive through long winters. The final meal featured roasted reindeer meat, lingonberry sauce, and traditional Sami bread baked over open flames in cast iron. Each bite connected us to thousands of years of human ingenuity and survival wisdom accumulated across ancient generations slowly. Joni explained how traditional diets perfectly balanced nutritional needs for surviving in extreme cold with available local resources constantly. The richness of traditional foods contrasted sharply with modern processed alternatives, revealing wisdom about sustenance that we had forgotten. But the most surprising part about Sami food culture was still ahead, revealing practices we never expected to witness personally. Ancient fermentation techniques, herb usage, and seasonal eating patterns demonstrated ecological knowledge matching modern nutritional science with precision, always. The relationship between Sami herders and reindeer spans thousands of years, creating interdependence that shapes every aspect of life. Reindeer provide food, clothing, transportation, and trade goods, making them central to Sami existence and cultural identity, completely, fundamentally. Joni managed a herd of approximately 3,000 animals spread across hundreds of square kilometers of frozen terrain, always. He used trained dogs, sleds pulled by reindeer, and his own physical endurance to monitor and control the herd constantly. During migration seasons, the entire family packed possessions onto sleds and followed the herd across mountains and frozen plains. These migrations cover hundreds of kilometers, requiring knowledge of safe routes, water sources, and grazing areas accumulated across generations. These ancient rhythms of movement created cultures adapted perfectly to Arctic cycles that modern civilization rarely understands or respects. Yet what happened next surprised even Joni himself, revealing changes in migration patterns that defied all previous expectations entirely. Climate change is disrupting traditional migration routes, forcing herders to adapt practices that worked for thousands of years previously. The challenges they face today extend far beyond simple survival, involving politics, economics, and environmental changes beyond local control.
The Sami worldview sees nature as alive and conscious, populated with spirits deserving respect and proper ceremonial acknowledgement always. Traditional beliefs blend with Christianity, creating unique spiritual practices that outsiders find difficult to fully understand or characterize accurately. Joni performed small rituals before hunts, expressing gratitude to the land and animals that sustained his family continuously, faithfully. These practices felt ancient and powerful, grounded in deep respect for forces larger than any individual human being possibly. Sacred natural sites scattered across the landscape held profound meaning for the Sami, embodying spiritual significance beyond simple geography. Gathering places marked by specific rock formations or trees served as meeting points for ceremonies and celebrations historically always. We visited one such location where Joni explained the history and spiritual importance of the site to his ancestors deeply. The atmosphere felt electric, as if generations of prayers and gratitude had seeped into the very earth surrounding us. Shamanic traditions once dominated Sami spirituality, though modern religious practices have substantially altered these ancient belief systems gradually, definitely. But almost nobody expects how these spiritual beliefs continue influencing daily survival decisions and moral choices made by modern families. The balance between honoring ancestral traditions and adapting to contemporary reality creates tension within Sami communities that remains unresolved. The Sami language nearly disappeared entirely during the 20th century as governments suppressed indigenous culture and native languages everywhere. In Jauni's childhood, speaking Sami at school resulted in punishment, creating shame around native language and cultural practices deeply. Yet he insisted on teaching his own children and grandchildren Sami, reclaiming pride in cultural heritage almost lost forever. The language contains sophisticated vocabulary, reflecting thousands of years of accumulated environmental knowledge passed down across countless generations faithfully. Words exist for specific weather patterns, animal behaviors, snow conditions, and natural phenomena that separate languages cannot adequately express. This linguistic knowledge represents an encyclopedia of Arctic survival wisdom developed through intimate observation and countless generations of experience. Modern linguists now study Sami language intensively, recognizing it contains information about ecological adaptation crucial for humanity's future survival. Indigenous knowledge systems, once dismissed as primitive superstition, are now valued by environmental scientists and climate researchers increasingly, constantly. The knowledge Jauni possessed about reading landscapes, predicting weather, and understanding animal behavior often surpassed modern scientific understanding entirely. Yet what happened next revealed how this ancestral knowledge is being lost as younger generations move away from traditional practices. Modernization offers opportunities but demands assimilation costs that threaten the cultural continuity that families like Jauni's have maintained carefully. Always.
The Arctic warms faster than any other global region, fundamentally disrupting ecosystems that Sami cultures have adapted to perfectly. Traditional migration routes depend on specific ice conditions, but unpredictable weather patterns now make these journeys dangerous and uncertain. Jauni described how recent winters brought rain followed by freezing, creating ice layers that prevented reindeer from accessing lichen underneath. Thousands of reindeer starved during these winters, forcing herders to purchase expensive supplemental feed or watch herds disappear completely. The economic pressure from climate disruption threatens the viability of traditional herding practices that have sustained families for generations. Government regulations limit hunting and herding rights, often prioritizing conservation over indigenous livelihoods and traditional survival practices altogether consistently. Industrial development, including mining, oil exploration, and hydroelectric projects, destroys traditional grazing lands and sacred sites without indigenous consent ever. The political struggles facing Sami communities extend far beyond simple environmental challenges, involving fundamental questions about sovereignty and rights. We encountered herders facing impossible choices between abandoning traditions or accepting economic hardship that could destroy family stability eventually. But almost nobody expects the resilience and determination these communities demonstrate when fighting for cultural survival against overwhelming odds. Jauni's generation has witnessed more change than all previous generations combined, yet they continue practicing traditions with unwavering commitment. Ilo, Jauni's daughter, represents a generation straddling two worlds, simultaneously honoring traditions while seeking opportunities modern society provides. She attended university in the nearest city, studying environmental science and indigenous rights advocacy, bringing education back to her community. Her younger brother preferred city life, finding it difficult to commit to the demanding reindeer herding lifestyle that sustained ancestors. This generational divide reflects broader patterns within indigenous communities worldwide, as modernization offers alternatives to subsistence living practices gradually. Yet Ilo returns to herding, using modern technology like GPS and satellite phones to enhance traditional knowledge and safety. She represents a new generation of Sami who claim their heritage proudly while refusing to abandon modern tools and opportunities. Her perspective challenges simplistic narratives about indigenous peoples either maintaining pure tradition or abandoning culture completely for modernization entirely. Young people like Ilo are creating hybrid approaches, combining ancestral wisdom with contemporary knowledge, developing sustainable futures for their communities. We watched her navigate reindeer herds using traditional skills while logging data on a smartphone for climate adaptation research. But what happened next surprised even Ilo herself, revealing opportunities for economic development through ecotourism and cultural education programs. She began guiding visitors interested in authentic cultural experiences, earning income while preserving knowledge and teaching others about her heritage.